Alright, what is going on YouTube? So today we are going to be looking at this Dell OptiPlex 9020 you see in front of you. This is a small form factor Haswell based machine from about 5 years ago. I believe these came out in about 2013, and I recently acquired it, and so we're going to be taking a little bit of a look at it. So here it is. Obviously, this is not an exciting computer by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a business grade desktop that a lot of places actually use. My work has a whole fleet of these, for example, but they use these pretty much everywhere. And but anyway, this one is actually pretty cool because not only are they relatively inexpensive from what I've seen, this thing is actually still pretty capable. It's packing some pretty good horsepower as far as processing power goes. So there it is. You may want to actually compare this to a previous generation Dell desktop that a lot of people know, and that was also seen in a lot of businesses back in the day, the Dell OptiPlex 755. So you can think of this as a bit of a successor to this machine. Obviously this one's bigger, but they did have a version that was that small. Anyhow, this is basically a modern version of these older Dell small form factor PCs. So there you are. I guess what we're going to do first is we can just take a little bit of a look at the outside of the machine, and then I will go ahead and boot it up for you, and that'll be about it. So on the front of the machine to start, as you can see, we have quite a few ports actually. So we have a power button right at the top. We got a slimline DVD-ROM, and then right there we actually have a smorgasbord of USB ports. So we have first of all, we have your microphone and your headphone right on the top, and then those top two ports are USB 3.0, so that's pretty cool. And then we have two USB 2.0 ports right below that. So right on the front of the machine, we have 4 USB ports, so that's pretty cool. And you might also notice this nice aluminum-ish looking design on the front case. I think it looks really good. Of course, it's not flashy or anything, but I think it looks pretty darn nice. So go ahead and turn the machine around. We'll go ahead and look at the ports on the back, of which there are many. So starting right at the top, we have a couple PS2 ports because, in a business environment, those may still be in use. Then we have 2 DisplayPort ports, which is actually pretty nice. Of course, on board, this just has Intel HD graphics, but I have a graphics card in it, which I'll get to in a minute. VGA serial port, which is actually pretty interesting, but again, they might need that in a business environment. And as you can see, we have 6 more USB ports, so 2 of those are 3.0, and then the other 4 are USB 2.0. There we have a gigabit Ethernet port, and down here we have a line out and a headphone port, so that's pretty nice. Down there is a NVIDIA GeForce GT 610. Didn't really come with the computer, but it was in there, and so gives it a decent amount of processing power in the graphics department for a computer of this size. So then of course we just have our inbuilt power supply down there. So yeah, pretty darn nice. So of course, being a Dell, these are pretty easy to work on. So as you can see, we just have a side panel here with a convenient latch. If you pull this up, that'll just open her right up, and you can get to pretty much everything. So of course, Dell being that kind of company, pretty much everything is quick release, so the optical drive just comes right out like that. And then if you want to get to the hard drive, you just lift this up and it comes right out. So that's pretty nice. Of course, I have a Samsung SSD in there. And so yeah, that's pretty nice. I just put that in. It's actually an 860 EVO 250 gig. Of course, again, the DVD-ROM drive, which we already mentioned. Under this bad boy is a Core i5 4590, 3.3 gigahertz. So that's pretty nice. This machine still has quite a bit of processing power behind it. Down there, we have 4 2 gig sticks of RAM. Don't know if you can see that very well. It's right down there. But yeah, so this machine does have 8 gigs of RAM, which is cool. And then, of course, the aforementioned GT610 right there. There are 2 Pci-E ports. This one is, of course, your X16. I don't think maybe we can get a better view of that. That one is an X16, but Dell stupidly put the port on the bottom of the motherboard, so you can't fit a double wide card in here, even though it could totally work, so long as it was, half height. So that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And then yeah, that's pretty much it for the inside, honestly. Again, it's not too interesting, but I thought I'd show it just because everything in here is fairly expandable and easy to change out. So, there we are. Go ahead and plop this cover back on, and then we will go ahead and get to the actual, looking at the software side of things. So, I'll be right back. Okay, so as you can see, I have the computer set up in its little home on my spare desk over here, and so I guess I can go ahead and start by booting it up. So as aforementioned, we do have a Core i5-4590 in this guy, which is a pretty potent CPU even today. We have 8 gigs of RAM and a Samsung 860 EVO SSD. With that said, this thing boots stupid fast, and yeah, it's way more computer than I really need, especially for something that I don't really have a use for. But ain't no kill like overkill, so there you are. So as you can see, booted fairly quickly. Yeah, of course I have it hooked up to this Dell 22-inch monitor, and yeah, so there's really not a ton else I can show you with this machine. I guess we can demonstrate the speed a little bit. Of course, it's stupid quick. I'll go ahead and open Google Chrome. Boom, it's pretty much instant. It's about as fast as my other PCs I have around here, and yeah, pretty awesome. Go ahead and pull up Spec-E, I guess, so we can look at that again, even though I just told you pretty much everything that it had. But gotta have some content here. So there you are. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Again, I've been told that this graphics card does run quite hot, but it's at 27 right now. Of course, I'm not doing anything with it, but it hasn't been an issue yet. But with that said, the limited thermal capabilities of this chassis, I might remove it. I haven't decided yet. Or just try to find a different graphics card that doesn't produce so much heat. But either way, there you go. I don't really have much else to say about it. I don't really have a use for this computer because, of course, I have so many. But yeah, it was a free machine that I got from a friend of mine, and I couldn't pass it up. So there you go. There's a little bit of a tour on the Dell OptiPlex 9020. Again, not the most exciting computer in the world, but it's pretty nice nonetheless. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.